What's up, you guys? Happy Friday. Coach Sarah again here, coming at you for another weekly weight loss chat. Today's video is a follow-up video from last week. So before I delve into that, just reminding you, my intention with these videos is to help smooth your path. So we're trying to remove obstacles so that we can smooth your path so that you can enjoy your journey to your ideal body. So again, for today, follow up from last week, we're talking about limiting beliefs. And if you recall from last week, if you watched my video, I talked about how limiting beliefs are, they're internal maps that we have created of the world, and these maps affect how we navigate life, right? And more often than not, they're based on information that we got when we were younger, or maybe more inexperienced rather, and you find yourself at a point now where your internal maps, they're due for an upgrade because they're not getting you anywhere. You've got a place you want to go, but your map is basically telling you, nope, there's no bridge from here to there. So it's time to upgrade them. So how do we do that actually? Well, the way that I have found helpful to identify my own limiting beliefs is through a writing exercise. So I recommend that you get yourself something to write with, and maybe have your phone out with your clock app open, because we're gonna need those items. First thing that you're gonna do is, I recommend just setting a timer for like 3 minutes. And I want you to imagine that I could snap my fingers, and in an instant, all of the things in your life that are keeping you from enjoying your life are fixed. They're magically fixed. For 3 minutes, what I would like you to do is write down all of those things that would need to be fixed. So any struggle that you're having in your life right now, obviously the topic of this conversation is weight, so it might be around weight specifically, but you might have other things too. The truth of it is, you can have limiting beliefs around just about anything in your life. So it could be around your career, it could be around your relationships, it could be anything. So highly recommend using this for all of the things. So 3 minutes, you're just gonna write, what are all the things that are keeping me from living my best life? And if Sarah could just snap her fingers and they were magically fixed, all would be well. That's step one. Step number 2, after you have written all of these things down. Oh, and I should also let me back up. As you're writing them down, let's say you just have like 3 or 4 things and you've got 2 minutes left on the clock. I encourage you to take 3 minutes and to write for 3 minutes. So even if some of the stuff you're writing is just crazy and off the wall, so let's say you really are unhappy with your weight and you really are unhappy with your job. You write those 2 things down and then you're like, that's basically it. Then just start to say the fanciful things, we'll say. Man, if my car were red instead of gray, I don't know, just something random that is not really that big of a deal. But I invite you to really dig in and write for the whole 3 minutes, because that allows you to get in all the nooks and crannies of your mind and begin to think creatively and to think with a possibility mindset, which is what exercises like this, they really thrive when you can think that way. So that's step 1. Write down all of your problems. Step number 2, rank those problems. So you probably don't need a timer for this, but just look over all the things that you wrote down, and I recommend that you rank them. The first one should be the thing that, man, if I just took care of this, everything else would kind of be fine. Like, this is the one that I have the most emotional charge around. And then you're gonna rank it from most emotional charge to least emotional charge. That might not take too long. Most of us, I think that comes kind of intuitively. So that's step 2. Step number 3 will be, from there, I want you to set another timer for 3 minutes, and you're gonna write down all of your thoughts. Oh, sorry, let me rewind. I'm not explaining this well. For step number 3, you're going to take the very most charged thing. So the thing that was at the top of your list from step 2, you're going to write that down. So let's say it's weight loss. I cannot lose weight. And then for 3 minutes, you're going to write down all of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs associated with that struggle that you're having. I also recommend that between thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, I recommend you start with whatever is strongest in your awareness field. So what I always tell my clients, for me personally, I tend to process things through emotion before I process them logically. And so my access point into discovery like this comes from starting with, what do I feel about that first? And then after I get my feelings down, then my thoughts start to coalesce and become clear. You might be the opposite. You might be a very logical minded person. Maybe you're a person who gets stuck in their head easily. I don't know. Maybe you start with your thoughts about it first, and then that segues into your beliefs and your emotions later. Just find whatever works for you. But the point is, for 3 minutes, you're going to write down any thoughts, beliefs, feelings that you have about this number one struggle in your life. After the 3 minutes is finished, and same thing as with step 1, write for 3 minutes. So even if you've kind of run out of stuff, if there's a point where you're just saying ridiculous things, that's fine. Later, when you look back at your answers, we'll ignore the ridiculous things. At the end of the exercise, after your 3 minutes is up, you'll look at all of those thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. And that, my friends, is where you will find your limiting beliefs. I invite you to take a moment to really contemplate them and consider them. So it might be that you write them down and then you're like, okay, cool, that was a cool exercise, now what? Take a moment and just read through them. And I'm not gonna give you the follow-up exercise to that quite yet, because I don't want this video to go long. And I think with activities like this, it's good to take them in small bite-sized chunks so that you don't get overwhelmed or bored, or who knows what else could happen. But for today, if you get those beliefs down and you look at them and you're like, okay, I've got some interesting stuff here, then I invite you to just simply ask yourself, how is this belief serving me? And is there any way where maybe it's not 100% accurate? Just a question to ask yourself between now and next week. But that's it for now. So that's all that I invite you to do, is do those 3 steps. Write down what your struggles are, rank your struggles, and then write down your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs around those struggles. And then next week I'll come back and I'll tell you how we can actually start to engage with these and perhaps rewrite our internal maps. So that's it for now. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We'll talk soon.